Hello and welcome inside Fever Insider Live. Brian Haenchen and Peterson here with you. Tony East as well with
Television
us.
Zone.
Television's own Tony East, excuse me. Sorry about that, Tony. I meant to mention that at the top. Television's own Tony East. Indiana Fever shocked the world again. 90 to 83 win over the Las Vegas Aces. Big bounce back performance from Kelsey Mitchell, 25 points. Aaliyah Boston took over for long stretches there, dominated the paint. We have some interesting comments from Asia Wilson to get to during the show as well. Odyssey Sims, another player with a bounce back performance. Some people that we talked about needing to play better. Odyssey Sims was certainly one of them, and she was brilliant. 18 points for her, 6 of 9 shooting, 5 of 6 free throw shooting. Another big strength from the team overall. Tony, let's start with you this time. Just general thoughts, takeaways from this team and this game.
Yes. So the way the Stars got everything going was kind of what they've needed to have happen, right? Because they've had so much trouble getting in the paint and kind of getting into their flow offensively these last couple games. And I wrote about why I thought that was the biggest reason they were losing. Like, they didn't look like the Fever. It was hard for them to get the shot they like. Stephanie White said she liked them and they missed them. And she was right. That's why you listen to her, not me. But in this game, their flow and their cutting and their ability to generate open shots was just back at a level that they hadn't shown since game one against an Aces defense that's been really connected and strategically sound these last couple games. That got Aaliyah Boston good shots where she often drew fouls or scored. That got Odyssey Sims better shot. She had a huge three at one point in this game. Kelsey Mitchell was still quite good with her 25 points. And like everything kind of snowballed from there, where even though Lexi Hall was missing, even though she was open a lot, their offense just clicked and flowed finally in a way it had in all series. And that gave them some defensive margin for error and let them play the game that they want to play, right? This was more like the Fever style that wins them a game than we've seen since game one.
Chloe?
Yeah, I mean, I think Aaliyah Boston was really the difference in this game, if even with how well she was able to, I think, take advantage of the tighter officiating in a way. I mean, she shot 11 free throws in the third quarter alone, and what did she finish with? 10 of 13 from the free throw line. So I think, obviously it seemed like the officials were calling a tighter game in the second half compared to the first. And firstly, Aaliyah Boston really took advantage of that. And secondly, she was getting through the Aces defense that was so good in game 3 to like just penetrate and get past Asia Wilson.
Tony, that was something you talked about, you wrote about. Just the Fever and that ability to attack the interior defense of the Aces and find a way. And they did that really well there, especially in the third quarter. I think it was Aaliyah Boston attempted 11 free throws, converted 9 of them in the third quarter alone. And then she just continued to maintain that presence in the post the entire way after that.
Steph White talked about timing a lot with their offense. And I thought something they did better in this game. I don't want to get like too micro nerdy on this, but when Aaliyah Boston sets a screen, very often two Aces defenders try to get to the ball really quick and prevent the drive and then recover to Boston. So if you get the pass to her quickly, she's got a lot of space in front of her. And in this game, I thought they got that pass to her faster, which forced the Aces defense to either react to her with a wide open lane in front of her, or she could shoot, right? She took some jumpers in this game as well. So tiny adjustment that went a long way for the Fever today.
Somebody else talking about Kelsey Mitchell was a lot more active in this game as well. She struggled shooting the ball the past couple games. Tonight, obviously, was really good. Like I mentioned at the top, they're 9 of 20 shooting, a couple 3-pointers, 5 of 6 at the line. Also had the 4 assists, three rebounds, and it was fitting there that she was the one to close out the game after hitting some massive shots. She had that fadeaway 14-foot jumper with about 2 minutes left, and I think made it a 2-score game where she got fouled. It looked like she was in some pain there, grabbing at the groin again, but found a way to finish there. And then, like I said, just the one she steps to the line with chance of MVP raining down from the rafters. That was a pretty cool moment for somebody who's been mentioned a lot during this playoffs, has been through the shittiest times of this franchise and stayed with it.
Yeah, I mean, kind of focusing on that whole when she was grabbing her groin area, I noticed that as well. But that's kind of something I've realized, as we've talked about multiple times before, that she's been injured, I would say, in some way since that game early August at the United Center, which is when I first noticed it, at least.
Mm-hmm.
But she's been, pushing through it every single time. And that's something Lexi Hall has also mentioned, that, Lexi Hall's just pushing through this back injury. And she says basically everyone at this point is just pushing through. Everyone's uncomfortable. Everyone's not necessarily injured, but they, their bodies are tired. It's been, 44 games plus 7 so far. That's 51.
Good job.
Had to do the math. So 51 games since May or 52 because of the Commissioner's Cup.
Yeah.
That's a lot for especially the 4 who have played every single game. And Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hull, Natasha Howard, like they're starting to feel that discomfort in playing at such a high level for so long, and they're pushing through it.
Oh, I thought you were about to talk. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I think what everybody always says is like everybody's dealing with something at this point of the season, right? I think with Hull specifically, it's a little different. Like every time she hits her back, I'm like, oh, she's grimacing. This isn't good. And then she pops up and she keeps going. And Mitchell's been doing that the whole season. Yeah, they got it. Like, look, a lot of teams will tell you, they'll pick up a microphone or answer a question. They will tell you they are resilient or they believe that they are resilient. And the Fever do those things. They say it to us, but like we can watch them and tell you that anyway, right? And that's the difference between them and other teams is that even banged up like this and playing, God, over 50 games, that's crazy. And they just get off the mat every time, right? Like many chances to fold in this game. Asia was cooking early. They lost the no Asia minutes early in the second quarter again. No problem. They stuck with it in a way that, you know, that they've kind of done for the last month and a half with this ragtag version of their team.
The team's starting point guard, we have some questions here to get to. Odyssey Sims, big bounce back performance from her. Stephanie White talked before the game about her needing to be better. Just plain and simple, not to belabor the point, needs to be better. And she was 18 points, 6 of 9 shooting. She had a 3-pointer in her 1 attempt, 5 of 6 at the line, 2 assists. She just looked a lot more comfortable out there. Tony, what did you see from her?
Like you said, comfort, right? And it was a lot in the second half. Like in the first half, I thought Shea Petty was probably playing a little bit better than her, and that would have been the second game in a row that was the case. But Sims, the second half was really good. She had a big 3 right before halftime, and then just came out really confident in the second half, I think probably because of that make. But like a good telltale sign of Odyssey Sims' success is 2 things. One is, can she get all the way to the basket on her drives? And she was doing that. And the other one is, how comfortable and how accurate is she on her little, like, what was that? Floater shot that no one else takes like her. And she made one in this game. And I thought, okay, like that's a good sign for her being aggressive and kind of probing the rest of the way. And so even on a night where her passing was like, you know, you'd like a little more from your point guard there. Her scoring was so much and her paint pressure was so high in a series they can't really get any, that she was kind of critical to the operation in that second half.
Chloe?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with all of that. I think, you know, as someone mentioned in the comments, she had a chip on her shoulder. She said post-game she tried to flush it, you know, in a way, tried to, you know, just open or tried to just come in with a clean slate. And I think she really did. And I think she obviously, you know, she knew she had to be better today, and she was. But I think Tony hit the nail on the head.
We should probably address what Asia Wilson said after the game. I'm not sure if that's made its round on social media. I've obviously been writing. It has. Okay. Asia Wilson, in as many words, said that Aaliyah Boston told her that she gets a favorable whistle.
A special whistle, to be precise.
A special whistle, excuse me. And then she pointed out the fact that Aaliyah Boston attempted 13 free throws for the game compared to just 6 for Asia Wilson.
Wait. This is good content. I missed this because I was interviewing Shea Petty. Asia said that Aaliyah told her Aaliyah gets a special whistle?
No,
that Asia told...
Aaliyah told Asia after game 3 that Asia gets a special whistle.
Oh.
I was going to clip that off, but I didn't have time to clip it off with writing and us needing to get on the air. But yeah, it was the Aces press conference, Tony. You missed a gem of a press conference.
Yeah.
I popped. Well, I think it's good context for listeners, actually. It said a lot about how the Aces felt after the game, how quickly they started, because usually teams have like a little breather before they even want to talk to us.
Yeah.
And I just walked straight down after the game and they'd already started. Like they were ready to go and get back to whatever they were doing because they were clearly flustered.
Becky Hammond was walking into the press conference room as we were getting there. It's crazy. Like if we had if we had stopped at another couple floors, they would have been in there waiting for the rest of the media to get there by the time the press conference started. And right out of the gate, Becky Hammond's asked about the officiating, and she says, well, they shot 34 free throws and we shot 11. And then she paused, stared at the room just to let everybody feel a little uncomfortable. And then she said, next question. So it is interesting. And it's interesting too, from a mentality standpoint, that's where they are right now. And they talked about other things, but it did always, Chloe, I don't know if you thought this, but it always seemed to kind of just go back to the officiating in one way or the other and how the game was called. And it was very much in their craw, which is interesting for a team of that caliber. And with their pedigree, that they were that concerned with it, because I would think that with everything that they've been through in the past and finding ways to, you know, championships and all that stuff, that they'd be quicker to flush it, even if it is in the immediate aftermath. But they were the opposite of that. They were holding on to that tightly, and it was a talking point. What do you think?
I mean, I think obviously with every team, they have reason to be flustered. There were a couple calls on the Aces that I thought were interesting, like Nalissa Smith's fifth foul. I didn't really see that. Obviously, Becky Hammond challenged Megan Gustafson's fifth foul and it was taken off. So I get the frustration from their end. But yeah, I don't know. That's my thoughts.
To clarify too, Asia Wilson, the way that she presented it was that Aaliyah Boston made that comment to her directly.
Yeah.
So it was like trash talking, and that's one of the
Right.
things that Aaliyah said to Asia Wilson, which is kind of hilarious. Yeah, no.
Okay, can we respond to Becky for a second? Yes,
Go for it.
Final discrepancy of free throws was 34-11. The Fever took 11 free throws in the last 61 seconds of the game
Yes.
while you were playing
That's
catch
what I
up, and
was going
Chelsea
to
Gray
bring
kept
up.
making threes to extend the game. Like, that obviously influences things a lot, and a lot of the foul discrepancy in this game also came in that stretch late where they were fouling on purpose. It was 24-17 the final, so it was like, I believe at the time I was talking to somebody who was asking me about the official because I was at the game. It was 16-14. The Aces were ahead in fouls. Turns out when you take more jumpers, which is fine, jumpers are good, you just get less free throws. Like, a lot of the fouls on the Fever just weren't generating foul shots. So I look, the Fever took more. I think that you're right, Chloe. I thought it was Melissa's fourth foul. It might have been her fifth where she pulled the chair and got the foul call on her on the lead. That was, to me, the worst call of the game. But like, outside of that, I wasn't like, that was so bad. What was that? You know, it just got crazy skewed at the end because of the last 61 seconds of the game. I know she knows that, and she's just going to bat for her team after a frustrating game. But the numbers do not tell the story correctly of the foul call and free throw discrepancy in this game.
Given how things looked throughout this series, throughout the Atlanta series, I thought that the officiating was actually solid this game. Like,
especially considering it was the crew that made Cheryl Reeve crash out on Friday.
Yeah. I mean, what did you think of it, Tony? Like, I thought it was okay. What did you?
I think if you're an Aces fan, you're probably a little frustrated with Aaliyah and the call she got in this game, especially in the third quarter, where it feels like Asia gets hit on her whole drives too. But I mean, yeah, I didn't think it was so crazy or anything today. It just felt like, here's what bugged me, if I could even say bug me, is it felt like they were letting more stuff go in the first half than the second half.
Yeah, that was noticeable.
But I don't mean that to say it was like one-sided. I just think that the two halves were differently called on both teams the same amount, which was weird.
Yeah. Any other game 4 thoughts?
As someone mentioned in the comments that I was going to bring up, the Fever only had 4 3-pointers today. Still won. And it didn't even seem like, I mean, they were never trailing, really. I mean, they had a spot in the third quarter where they were trailing by like 3 points. But, you know, it was very impressive that they had a lead the entire game and made 4 3-pointers, which is usually something that they rely on a lot more.
Desperate rotation, I think, was a big thing to me. Kelsey Mitchell's played all but 1 minute, and her 1 minute had a review and a TV timeout in it, so she got a big rest in it, played the rest of the game. Lexi Hall plays 38 minutes. If she didn't have 3 fouls, I wonder if she'd have played all 40. Ariel Powers only sneaking in for the other 2, right? They know that they knew what needed to happen, and they adjusted accordingly. Shea Petty coming in earlier than normal in this one. Shea Petty's had a really nice series for the Fever. She was good again today. She was playing well enough that Stephanie White was comfortable going with Sims and Petty together without Kelsey Mitchell on the floor. So more rotational changes in a way that I thought was pretty effective. We'll see if they stick with that in game 5. They must have to. Yes, Lexi was awesome, commenter. She's had an awesome series.
Lexi's such a badass, and she's been better since she got hurt too, which is just insane to me and blows the mind. When she's talking to us before the game Friday about how it hurts to play, probably hurts to breathe at this point. There was a play, I tweeted it out, but there was a sequence where she gets knocked down underneath that basket over there, which only means something to Chloe and I. She gets knocked down, and watching her try to get off of the floor as she forced her body up was just painful to watch. Like, it made me hurt because it's obvious this woman is in so much pain, and she sprints down to the other side and hits a freaking open 3-pointer. It's just like unbelievable what she's done this series.
I agree. I concur.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks,
I think
Chloe.
her versus Jackie is my favorite thing happening too.
Yeah.
Because Jackie's been really good too. They're just battling every possession.
Jackie Young, by the way, phenomenal. 31 points for the miss, or 18 points, excuse me, for the Miss Basketball recipient. 6 of 10 shooting. She's phenomenal, has been phenomenal all series as well. Something, Tony, too, that I wanted to point out, you tweeted this out, there was a 36-35 Aces lead with 3 minutes left until halftime. And usually that's a recipe for disaster for the Fever. Been terrible closing out quarters. And instead it's 46-38 at half. Hitting threes, tempo. Tempo was kind of an underlying theme tonight, it felt like, where the Fever got back a little bit to playing at their pace while also establishing that interior presence and some physicality.
Yeah, running into 2 mid-rangers first, and then Kelsey 3, 2 of them, and then the Odyssey 3 I thought was the one that was like, okay, like that really got a lot of pressure off their back to start the second half. And they started the second half terrible, right? It was so bad that Steph White took a timeout a minute into the half, but they were still winning and like able to be loose coming out of that. And like, I do this a lot sometimes just to see what's going on, but I walked down at halftime to see, like, they came out really late, like 2 minutes to go to the half. They finally came out for warmups, and they were really loose. Like Bree Hall's dancing to Dynamite by Tayo Cruz, which was playing through the arena, and they're all smiling and happy because they're up 8. Like that makes you so much more loose and free heading into the more intense portions of the game when you have that lead. So that was a massive stretch of the game.
Commenter there, trying something different here. Bottom right asks, do you guys have can you see that, Tony, on the bottom right?
Yes, I can.
Nice. So do you guys have the free throw stats tonight? It didn't suck as much tonight, right? And that is correct. It did not suck as much. 26 for 34 at 76.5%. And 3 of those misses were by Aaliyah Boston, who attempted 13 on the night and hit 10 of them. So a significant improvement there on that front, an important underlying part of that game. Has it really helped the Fever take and maintain control there down the stretch. Any closing thoughts for you on game 4 before we spin this ahead to number 5?
I don't think so.
Tony?
Yeah, I also don't think so.
Game 5, Tuesday, 9:30 p.m., ESPN2. If you would have told me that this was happening 48 hours ago, I would have said that's hilarious, but also terrifyingly believable, but still hilarious. I mean, this team is just unbelievable. Stephanie White said they're going to enjoy this game for the rest of tonight, and then tomorrow it's off to Las Vegas, and they'll focus on the task at hand, because she said what we did tonight was not going to be good enough to win game 5, and she's not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, as we saw in game 2, the Aces when the Aces get mad, they come out with a chip on their shoulder, and they do it in a big way. And I think that's what the Aces are going to do on Tuesday in Vegas too. And they're also going to have that home court advantage. Obviously, they split home court last time they were there, but I think Aces are going to come out swinging. They're going to try to punch the Fever in the mouth first, and the Fever are going to have to be ready for that.
Agreed. Look, we talked about the difference last time, and then the Fever proved us wrong. But like, the Aces have done this. They've won championships. They've won huge games. They've won big road games. They've won big home games. Like, it's different. They know it. The crowd there knows it in that nice little low ceiling arena in Vegas. So it'll be tougher in every way, and the Aces will be comfortable. Hey, we've talked about this before. They just did it to the Dream. I made the joke last time about literally the margin of victory for the team in the game that got them the lead in the series against the Fever, right? So I'm really curious how they'll come out and what the focuses will be, because I think the Aces like have a lot of little things that they'll be like, man, if we just, if Melissa Smith's not in foul trouble, man, if Chelsea Gray didn't finally figure out how to make jumpers until the last minute of the game, like all this stuff that has happened throughout the series that didn't happen. If Joelle Lloyd made anything, right? She was rough. If Dana Evans looked like she did the first couple of games, all this stuff that they've had in the series they didn't have today. And the Fever, the reason that stuff didn't happen, they defended them pretty well. But I think they'll feel like there's a lot of stuff that's just right in front of them for the taking. It's up to the Fever to collectively figure out how to make that not the case again. As someone says, their collective matters quite a bit.
One random game 4 observation that I'm surprised hasn't come in the chat yet was the crowd today. I mean, that's usually something that people like to point out. It felt similar to game 2 against Atlanta, but the people who wanted to be there wasn't the biggest crowd in the world, but the people who wanted to be there was very loud, and that was a big effect. And I say that as a way to spin forward to game 5. It's going to be a hornet's nest they're walking into. You both will be there. I mean, it's going to be loud. It's going to be rowdy. It's going to be not fun place for the Fever to play in, but also fun at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, the first 2 games in Vegas, there was a pretty strong contingent of Fever fans behind the Fever bench, to the point where it was pretty. I mean, and the Aces, I couldn't think of their name for a second. The Aces have a smaller arena, I think about 10,000. So like, you could hear the Fever fans in the first 2 games, and I imagine it would be the same, because whether it's family, whether it's or friends and family, or whether it's just Fever fans in Vegas or going to Vegas, they're going to show up.
They've been everywhere. Every game's a home game, right?
Yeah. It's going to be a fun time.
Yeah.
Somebody else says the Fever always play bad when the game starts late on the West Coast. Hope they get some sleep. I agree.
And that's my favorite thing. This happened in the Pacers run too. MVP chance with Kelsey Mitchell at the foul line. Look, I love cheering on your player. They already decided the MVP this year. The MVP's on the other team. We were in New York for Pacers Knicks, and they're chanting MVP at Jalen Brunson. I'm like, guys, they already announced who won the award. It's not him. I'm all about cheering on your players. I was just like, yeah, the MVP's right there, guys. Good chanting.
Made for a very nice, sweet moment. I love too that allows me to say something I forgot that I wrote about in this story. Was that Stephanie White talked about how she wanted to coach Kelsey Mitchell. Watching her from afar, was a big fan of her. I thought that was pretty neat, and it's like it is fun seeing that player who's been through such dark times in the franchise get her flowers. That's all we got for Game 5. We're gonna do another one of these after Game 4 and Game 5. We'll do another one of these after Game 5, and then who knows from there. I feel like it'll be another midnight showing.
Everyone pray for Tony if he is able to make it to Vegas, flying out day of.
I'll be there some way, somehow.
Yeah, it's it'll be Delirium show again. It'll be very brief, but we'll be there. Depending what happens for there, if they make it to the finals, I reckon the 3 of us or 2 of us, some combination of us, will be back to preview the finals. Otherwise, it'll be season wrap time.
Should we mention that? I think Fever fans should root for the Lynx tonight. Just the chance that their opponent, the Fever's opponent, will be more banged up or more challenged for the final game, right?
Yes, the Annie Costabile from Office Sports did report today that Nafisa Collier does not have a fracture in her ankle somehow. I saw the replay. I totally thought it was going to be a fracture.
Me too.
It is not.
Any word on?
You know why I thought it was going to be a fracture? Because Nafisa Collier's coach said it was a fracture.
She said
that was kind of a tell for me personally.
A fracture.
She said probably, and that was like number.
Lynx are up 10-1.
That was like number 3 or 4 on the list of things that she said during that game or during that post game press conference too. Chloe wants to get out
a little bit.
Yeah, it was amazing. Chloe wants to go watch this game. She's got a flight to catch. Anthony also has a flight to catch. I want to go to bed. So thank you all so much for watching. We will be back on whatever day the game is, Tuesday. Pray for Chloe for no flight delays. Pray for Tony that he has enough energy to make it to the game alive.
I think we should pray more for Tony because he's flying out day of.
Yeah. Chloe follows the team more closely than me. Always Chloe.
So thoughtful, so selfless. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back again here in a couple days.